As we all know, job hunting has become a much more popular option for a large number of graduates. Despite the fact the employment prospects for graduates have improved, there's still no guarantee you'll find a job, let alone a job you want. Every year, statistics released in the newspaper show some percentage of unemployed graduates.
The Malaysia Ministry aspiration is to create a higher education system that ranks among the world's leading. Malaysia Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025 aspires to instill an entrepreneurial mindset throughout Malaysia's higher education system and create a system that produces graduates with a drive to create jobs rather than to only seek jobs. Therefore, Malaysia Higher Education Institution launched Entrepreneurial Action Plan 2016 to 2020. The objective of this action plan is to sustain implementation of development and entrepreneurial education in higher education institutions.
Do you know the best practice to build up an entrepreneurial graduates? What we did is and still relevant until now. Our successful entrepreneur model that aligned with MEB and HEI Entrepreneur Action Plan 2016-2020. With those action plan and initiative will definitely strengthen our practice model. To become a successful entrepreneur, started with the intention and the mindsetting to be an entrepreneur in Malaysia Polytechnic students. Second, with the skills that provided in Malaysia Polytechnics. And supports from the government and polytechnic institutions. Finally, an entrepreneur graduates as our end product. To find these students who have the entrepreneurial traits and to groom them to be an entrepreneur is actually a cool effect. It's not something that bad things because we, as a human, when we will grow up, we have dreams, we have passions, we have vision, and somehow we got things crushed. Back then, we've been told that we must study harder to be more focused, to be an engineer, doctor, lawyer, mostly only focusing in academic instead of to be an entrepreneur.
I'm not telling you not to be an engineer, but you can own your own company. That's what we call as entrepreneur graduates.
Mindset is probably the major determinant of success in pretty much every walk of life. In other words, the thinking patterns you habitually adapt largely govern the results you achieve. Do you think it is easy to be an entrepreneur? To become an entrepreneur, you must have a good of attitude, always in positive thinking, proactive, creative, competitive, willing to take risks, sort of. And you need the intention to trigger your mind setting to become an entrepreneur. I love to find a story about a young entrepreneur who won the first place in the Best Student Enterprise Awards in Polytechnic Entrepreneurial Awards PEA 2015, Muhammad Rasul bin Zahiri. Begin with the end in mind. As an entrepreneur, he has passion in sports since he was a kid, and his background as an athlete was a bonus for him to start the business. He also gained his experience as a fitness instructor in one of fitness center in Cyberjaya, Malaysia. Realizing fitness became a trend and had a big potential in future, especially in Malaysia, he decided to be an entrepreneur in fitness. So, he grabbed the opportunity to start Arzad Lifestyle Company since 2014. This kind of entrepreneurial mindsetting in him contributed him to become a successful entrepreneur graduate In Polytechnic Malaysia, we have a variety of TVET skills that have been taught to our students: engineering, accountancy, multimedia, fashion, hotel and catering, agrotechnology, logistics and supply chain. Furthermore, we initiate in enhancing the student learning experience by expanding industry collaboration in the design and delivery of programs, increasing the use of experiential and service learning to develop 21st century skills, and leveraging technology-enabled models to enable more personalized learning. We also design our curriculum based on industrial skills demand, not only assess knowledge and thinking skills, but also the other primary attributes: ethics and spirituality, leadership skills, national identity, and language proficiency. The other initiatives are creating opportunity for students and academic staff to acquire entrepreneurial skills and pursue their own enterprises through business incubators and green lane policies that support student-owned businesses. Every graduate will have the relevant disciplinary knowledge and skills, ethics and morality, as well as the appropriate behaviors, cultural and civilizational literacy to advance them to a high level of personal well-being. Now, we want to talk about the programs that we help to achieve our target. Since 2010, the topic about having an entrepreneur have been discussed among the world. Malaysia also takes the responsibility in having them. So much programs that have been held and also in our planning and realize our vision. For example, MPAC. MPAC is Malaysia Polytechnic Entrepreneurial Center has been formed to strengthen the entrepreneurship development program in Malaysia Polytechnics. It is functioned as programs coordinators, encourage the institution by giving out awards called Polytechnic Entrepreneurial Awards. Strengthening our high-impact project entrepreneurial program such as Beauty Poly, Agropoline Poly, Service Poly, Cuisine Poly, Sport Poly, Travel Poly. Not only that, the alumni of Malaysia Polytechnics also give a full support in our programs to be the icon of Malaysian Polytechnic entrepreneur to lead our young entrepreneur. Dr. Engineer Tuan Haji Kamaruddin bin Abu Bakar is one of Polytechnic's alumni that own a construction company that operates in Mecca. Started by opening a workshop with 10 employees. Now, his company has grown to 300 employees in total. His company has conducted a few projects around the world. His services include electrical and mechanical engineering, hotel and catering, businesses. And now, he is one of the engineers that are responsible in structure plan for Mecca development. Now, let's take a look into the interview that we have about his opinion regarding on the support system in entrepreneur, especially in Malaysia.
Banyak agensi kerajaan yang sediakan pinjaman untuk usahawan. Sebagai contohnya, skim pinjaman usahawan muda. Tekunlah, kan? Ikhtiarlah. Lagi satu, memang kerajaan berperanan sediakan kursus-kursus untuk membina usahawan. Juga banyak tempat-tempat yang disediakan oleh kerajaan, pusat pengajian, yang mana masuklah Politeknik ini sendiri untuk melahirkan graduan yang ada nilai keusahawanan.
We felt that this approach has successfully produced some of our entrepreneurial graduates. We believe that by empowering the entrepreneurship programs will increase the employability and subsequently job opportunities among our graduates. We conclude that from our successful entrepreneurial model, the intention and the mindsetting to be an entrepreneur plus the skills that provided in Malaysia Polytechnics and supports from the government and polytechnic institutions has been able to produce graduates who are competent in both TVET and entrepreneurial field. The graduate entrepreneurs produced from Malaysia Polytechnic have realized their dreams of self-employment, creating profits for themselves and jobs opportunities for others in the process.